Hello everybody, my name is Tabletop Nephilim, and today I'm going to be doing something different. Instead of a D&D build, I'm going to put forward an idea I've had for a puzzle room. Now, I'm not very good at puzzles most of the time, and I'm even worse at making them, but this was one so simple that even I could come up with it. Essentially the way this works is the players will enter a room and the way forward will be closed. Above the door will be an hourglass with a bunch of metal or stone spheres up in the top half. The bottom half of the hourglass will have a line or some other indicator going across it. In the middle of the room will be an altar with 3 pegs on it. On the leftmost peg will be 4 rings of varying sizes. Anyone who's familiar with the Jacob's Tower puzzle will already know what's going on. Basically, the idea is to get all of the rings from the leftmost peg over to the rightmost peg in as few moves as possible. Now there are of course rules to this puzzle, first of which you can only move 1 ring at a time. You can enforce this in your game by having the other rings magically locked in place when one is removed. If a player tries to place a ring down somewhere other than a peg or moves the ring too far away from the pegs, then it'll disappear and reappear on whichever peg it was first pulled off of. The second rule is you cannot place a larger ring on top of a smaller ring, which again you can enforce by having them disappear and reappear back on the peg that they first appeared, or do something else that will, some other form of magic that will prevent them from being placed on the peg in the first place. The number of spheres in the hourglass above the door represent how many moves the players have. With each move they make, 1 will drop down to the bottom half. Once they are all gone, the trap activates. Now what this trap is will depend on what you want to do, but for me I imagine spawning a bunch of fire elementals, or just spawning some monster or group of monsters in general. Once combat is over, the puzzle will reset and the players will be able to try again. Now the number of moves will be up to you, though you will need more than 15 moves available because that's actually the minimum number of moves required to complete this puzzle. It's the perfect score, basically. I would recommend about 30, though you can give them more if you want to be nice, or maybe go as low as 20 if you want to be mean. So what if they do get a perfect score? Well, that's why there's a line across the bottom half of the hourglass. If they get a perfect score, maybe an additional compartment opens up revealing some sort of treasure or artifact. Now there is a variation to this puzzle that I'd like to present for DMs who are looking for something a little more lethal. Instead of spawning monsters once the players run out of moves, have something like a descending spike ceiling or whatever else you can think of. Once the players have made the first move, the way into the room seals behind them and the ceiling will start to go down. With every move they make, it'll go down further and further until they run out of moves and are killed. Obviously, you're going to want to give them extra moves to work with for this one, unless you're just one of those assholes. You know, the kind that take pride in how many players they kill, the kind that nobody likes to play with. So this has been my first puzzle room. I don't know if I'm going to be making any more, if I come up with anything. Maybe. Don't expect this to be a regular thing though. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you'd like to support my channel, there's a link to my Patreon down in the description. Let me know what you thought of this video down in the comments. We have recently reached 800 subscribers, but since that literally snuck up on me, I'm not prepared for a legendary build. So for now, I'll see you all next week when I make Ganondorf from Hyrule Warriors.